The guards shoved me into the containment cell, the heavy metal door slamming shut behind me with a deafening clang. My heart pounded against my ribs. My crime? Accidentally spilling a nutrient paste dispenser on a Xylosian diplomat. A clumsy mistake, but here, on this rigid, militaristic outpost, it was grounds for severe punishment. The warden's voice, a metallic rasp through the intercom, echoed in the sterile room. "Enjoy your new roommates, human. Let's see how your species' famed adaptability holds up against the feral ones." Through the reinforced glass on the far side of the cell, I saw them. Two figures huddled in the corner. They were Felinians, a species known throughout the galaxy for their grace, speed, and unfortunately, their uncontrollable aggression in captivity. The file ID glimpsed on the warden's desk labeled them as feral and unpredictable. They had beautiful cat-like features, slender bodies covered in soft striped fur, large, luminous eyes, and delicate twitching ears. One had fur the color of a midnight sky, the other was a warm, sandy gold. They watched me, their bodies tense, tails lashing nervously. I knew the stories. Felinians, when stressed, could shred durasteel plating with their claws. My soft, fleshy human body wouldn't stand a chance. The guards were expecting a bloodbath, a grisly show for their amusement. I decided then and there I wouldn't give them one. I took a deep breath, held up my empty hands to show I meant no harm, and slowly sat down on the floor, leaning against the wall opposite them. I didn't stare, which can be seen as a challenge by many species. I just sat, making myself as small and non-threatening as possible. Hours turned into a day. The guards sent in food pucks, sliding them through a slot. They sent in 3. 1 for me, and 2 for them. I pushed my puck towards the center of the room, then pushed theirs a little closer to their corner. The dark-furred one, her eyes wide and curious, crept forward. She sniffed the food, then looked at me. I gave a slow, deliberate blink, a gesture of trust I'd read about in a xenoanthro report. Her ears twitched. She nudged the puck back towards her companion, the golden one, who hadn't moved an inch. The second day was much the same. Silence, observation, and the quiet sharing of food. I started humming, a low, soft tune my grandmother used to sing to me. It was a simple, repetitive melody. At first, they both tensed, their ears swiveling in my direction. But as I continued, the tension seemed to drain from their bodies. The golden one, who had been a statue of fear, finally uncurled slightly. Her tail gave a slow, almost lazy swish. Progress. That evening, I decided to try something. My ship suit had a small, self-heating thermal pouch in the pocket, useless for survival, but perfect for a little warmth. I activated it and the gentle heat spread through the fabric. The air in the cell was perpetually cold, a standard feature of Xylosian detention centers. I noticed them shivering sometimes, huddling together for warmth. I placed the warm pouch on the floor, a few feet away from me. The dark-furred one, who I'd started thinking of as Luna, was the first to investigate. She crept over, batted it with a paw, then recoiled. But the warmth was enticing. She circled it, then lay down near it, letting the heat radiate onto her side. The golden one, Sunny I'd named her, watched intently. A low purring sound, like a tiny engine, started to fill the silence. It was the most beautiful sound I'd ever heard. On the third day, a small miracle happened. I was dozing against the wall when I felt a tentative touch on my hand. I opened my eyes to see Luna, her nose just inches from my fingers. She sniffed me, her whiskers tickling my skin, then gave my hand a soft, raspy lick, just like a cat from Earth. My heart melted. I stayed perfectly still, letting her investigate. After a moment, she seemed satisfied and curled up a few feet away, her purr a steady, comforting rumble. Later, Sunny, emboldened by her friend's bravery, also approached. She was more hesitant, but the promise of warmth and the non-threatening nature I projected seemed to win her over. She didn't touch me, but she settled down closer than she ever had before, joining Luna in a soft chorus of purrs. The cell, once a place of fear and isolation, was starting to feel cozy. We developed a routine. I'd hum, they'd purr. I'd share my food, and they'd degroom my jumpsuit with a few licks when they thought I wasn't looking. We couldn't speak the same language, but we didn't need to. We communicated through trust, patience, and a shared desire for comfort in this cold, sterile place. I learned that their feral nature was just fear. They weren't monsters, they were just terrified and alone, like me. On the morning of the 5th day, the guards came to check on us, their faces ready for a gruesome discovery. I had woken up a few hours earlier to a strange weight on my chest. Opening my eyes, I'd found Luna and Sunny curled up asleep on me, their combined warmth a welcome blanket against the cell's chill. Their purrs vibrated through my body, a soothing living lullaby. I hadn't dared to move, not wanting to disturb them. It was the most peaceful I'd felt since my capture. The warden's face appeared on the monitor, his jaw dropping in disbelief. The guards who peered through the viewport looked equally stunned. There was no shredded human, no bloody mess. Just a man and two feral creatures sleeping peacefully together like a pile of kittens. The scene was so utterly contrary to their expectations, so profoundly domestic, that it broke their narrative. The warden's metallic voice crackled, softer this time, filled with confusion. "What? How?" I just smiled, gently stroking Luna's soft fur. She stirred, stretched, and let out a little yawn before nuzzling back against my neck. There was no complex science to it, no human superpower. It was just kindness, patience, and the universal need for a warm, safe place to sleep. My clumsy accident had landed me in a cell, but it had also led me to an unexpected friendship. Looking at the two peaceful beings sleeping on my chest, I realized I wasn't their prisoner, and they weren't my captors. In this cold, metal box, we had become a family. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel so alone in the galaxy.